First, I scale up everything for reference. I design everything in 2D in vector scale so I can put all the pieces apart and manipulate them. Using the mill, I can open the slot in the sortie by doing a lot of small holes on it. The Colza is a great tool to cut straight lines, and I use it to cut the bottom of this piece. The rest was cut off screen with the bandsaw. Now we have the tip in one solid shape. Usually I make the handles in polycarbonate, but this time I have some leftover red oak so I try to use. I use the table router to round the edges of the handle. The lathe is a great tool, and in this case I did some custom holding in the blade so I can make a hole in the middle. And it's kinda tricky because I need to go straight all the way and not hit the walls. Once I have the blade drilled, I can put an all thread on both sides and connect the whole sword in a single piece. All the pieces are coming together. They're in a very rough shape, but it's a good start so I can start making more detailed work. The center of the hilt needs to be a very specific diameter because it's gonna fit very snugly into the center of the hilt. That's why I make special tooling. I had to open the hilt to make a space for the connector. The whole thing is like a puzzle that every single piece needs to fit very precisely and have no gaps, so it's a lot of very exact measurement. The most expensive material for the build was the hilt. This 2.5 inches brass bar was cut in the exact angle I needed for the build, and the Colza did the right job. The whole connector of the hilt needs to be exact because it's the center of the whole sword. The blade go through it, the hilt connect to each other, the handle connect to it. Everything needs to be perfect here because everything is gonna go from here. So the connector fit perfect into place, and I just use some hex screws to hold everything in place. I could make it in brass and just weld it together, but I think it's easier if I can just do everything modular so I can take it apart when needed. I can cut the whole brass with a bandsaw or any other way, but I think it's easier if I just make a bunch of holes and then I cut it with the bandsaw to separate it. It's just faster this way. This is an accessory for the milling machine. It's a rotatory table, which is perfect for this kind of every angle cut I'm gonna make in this piece. I'm making very slow paces into the piece because if I go too fast I can break the end mill or do a cut I cannot go back. It was an interesting idea. I mark every single slot I need to cut and I have a laser so I can align the end mill to the table. It speeds up the whole process a lot. Making these slots into the pieces took the whole day, but I think the result was very worth it. center hilt, side hilt, bottom hilt, and handle. Everything fit in the exact spot, and we have a very solid sword. These decorative elements are bezels for the stones in the sword and some connectors for the handle. They are like a very weird connector because they need to go in an angle through two pieces at the same time and hold everything with a screw. Once the screw is in place, the connection is very solid and the screw is hidden in the final build. This is a decorative element for the handle. It's two pieces of brass glued together and I'm using a handsaw to put a slot in the middle. I'm gonna fill the gap I just made with black resin to make the decorative element. And again, I need to be sure that every single piece have a very fit connection. So I finished every single major part of the sword. Everything fit in place, and now I need to focus on the smaller details. The lion emblem of the sword was a lot of processes. I 3D printed the lion head first, then I had to make a silicone mold. Once we have the silicone mold, I fill it with wax so I can make a wax pieces of the lion head. I put together 12 wax copies so I can pick up the best ones of the casting. Now the fun part, we're playing with fire. We're dropping the molten bronze into the mold all the way to the top so we can fill the 12 wax copies. I can put the plaster mold into the wire while it's hot and it will release the bronze copies. It will save me a lot of cleanup later. The casting of the bronze was very good. The tree looks in a solid piece, all the pieces looks good. Now I need to separate everything and pick the best two for the sword. The bronze casting is good, but it's not perfect. This will require a lot of cleanup and a lot of polishing. Because everything is metal, it's gonna be very heavy. Right now I need to remove some weight out of the side pieces of the hilt. I'm gonna use the end mill and cut as much from the inside without touching the walls. I worked very slowly because I was worried about hitting the walls, but after hours of work I removed a pound on each one, so the whole sword is 2 pounds lighter. Every single part is finished and polished. Now we can assemble it. everything is shined, polished and assembled. Everything fit great, is finished. I made a scabbard off screen. It's all polycarbonate, leather and some bronze elements.